Well, panelists, our Prime Minister has been already told us about the K-pop and the current situation that happened under current status quo. But ladies and gentlemen, before I go far, I would like to define you a lot of things that happen in our current status quo also. Well, first thing, we believe that this motion will talking about why is it good or not good if feminist movement to support or actively opposing K-pop industry. Well, the feminism movement also itself is kind of movement that exists in this world to fight for the women's right itself. Well, but before that, let's see the setup for our status quo. We all agree that the feminist movement, in this case, struggling to achieve its mission, which is to have the equality levels between men and women. But even the equality have been already exist for nowadays. For example, women already have the access in education and so on and so far. But we are still looking for the better regulation to protect women from several beauty standards and of course from several exploitation that exist for nowadays. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the K-pop industry itself, we all know that the essence of an industry also to make a profit as much as they can. In this case, the K-pop industry try to make profit with put some other girls into the industry itself. From the opening government has already stated that they just explain us how it can make another standard to let these girls into the industry, which is in this case they just pick some beautiful girls that just match with certain beautiful standard and to get into the agency itself. But ladies and gentlemen, what lacks that has been explained by our government, our first opening government itself, they didn't really explain us how those agencies, in this case the K-pop industry, was tends to exploit women and children, which is not in the same road with the feminist movement itself. Well, what really happens nowadays? Well, an agency, when they try to find some other talents, they would like to find some new young girls that they just come from various ages. For example, several actors or singer or artists from Korea has been taken by their family, in this case, to get into those trainings year by year until they make it into their first debut. For example, Suho from EXO has been already took from their family, try to persuade them and then make them into the agency and let them all try to have several trainings year by year, non-stoply, to increase their potential and separated him by their playworks and their family. I would like to ask you, everyone over here, let's imagine, is it kind of chance that we want to see in the future? A whole world that full with the children that couldn't be able to feel freedom, to play, to express their feelings, and also to feel some kind of love that come from their family and so on and so forth. Is it, this is so much different roles with the feminist movement itself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually the leader of our association has also given the arguments about why does K-pop is the only thing that should be blamed rather than any other trends that exist in this world nowadays that create several beauty standards such as Hollywood markets and London's markets and entertainment markets and so on and so forth. But why does we do really oppose K-pop industry? It's all clearly just because the trends that happen nowadays, the beauty standards itself was created mostly by the K-pop industries, which is the K-pop industry given several kind of standards that define beauty itself, such as how having a clear face without any kind of acne, having thin bodies, and of course light white skins and so on and so forth. But why we don't really actively oppose that things that happen in Hollywood, etc. For why you don't really actively oppose the things that happen in Hollywood, etc. Nowadays, the Hollywood industry and the United States entertainment and the London industry, entertainment industries itself have the beauty standards of the girls and the boys were equally the same. For example, right now we have also Beyonce, a great singer that already have a dark skin. Who didn't know Beyonce, right? And of course, Chelsea Chris. If you didn't know Chelsea Chris is a winning Miss USA in 2019, where she actually had black skin and long curly dark hair, and she made it into the top 10 of Miss Universe 2019. And of course, Meghan Trainor from England entertainment industry that already winning several achievements such as Grammys and so on and so forth. So that's the reason why we do really opposing for the K-pop industry itself. Well, jump to my arguments. I would like to give you my arguments why we do really opposing K-pop industry for 2 points of arguments. For the one, why is it good for all the young generation in our country? Well, as it also becomes the effects of accept the K-pop industry, our young generation, the most vulnerable actors that might be the leaders of our country in the future, might think that they only might bring success in the future just only if they were beautiful and talented. And of course, they just being observed but that, okay, I see those girls from Blackpink, okay, they're beautiful and they might be successful. How about me that I'm not having such a beautiful face and such a sexy bodies and so on and so forth. So am I not gonna be success in the future? So they might become a lack of confidence, and it makes them forget their own potential, and it's also giving some negative impacts for our country. Why I say that it would like to give some negative effects for our country, so also we might lose our best very potential children and generation just because they didn't maximize their potential before, and that all happened because the lack of confidence that they have been experienced before. And then next one, the trends also that happening about this K-pop trends, it makes people think that they have to change their faces, they have to change their bodies to be more beautiful, to be more sexist, and so on and so forth. It creates the stigma worldwide and thinks that our body is much better if we change it into several body standards. For example, they might be do some plastic surgery to their faces, to the chin, and so on and so forth, to the breast, and so on and so forth, and make it fit into the several beauty standards, and so on and so forth. And next, the point, that's why it's good for the whole generation of our country. And next, why is it not good for the actress itself? As I've been told you before in my previous statements, the agency, when they try to find other talents, they make look for several girls or boys that having some potential and persuade them, trying to make them the part of the agency, and push them into training years by years, and not stopping to maximize those potential. But what makes it, the problems has been, exist. Why? Because this agency took those little girls or boys since they were little children. For example, I've been told you before, like Suho from EXO, he just been separated by their family and separates them from their work, playful playground, and so on and so forth. So it took their rights to having a better life since the beginning. So next, why is it not good for the actors itself? The actors itself that happen to exist in the industry have a tendency to always fulfill every single rules or policy that the industry wants to do, such as that they are going to eat, they're just going to eat several kind of food that might be allowed by the industry and so forth to keep their thin bodies and so on and so forth. Also have a tendency to be controlled by what are the industry going to do. And I think that's all why we don't really we don't really agree with our proposal today. Thank you.